Look at this character, Naka. The center. Innocent, right? Just a rectangle with a line through it. Like a little TV on an antenna. But what if I told you the true origin of this JLPT N5 staple is completely drenched in blood? Yeah, let's ruin your flashcards. When you study Japanese, they tell you Naka means middle or inside. It costs you about 2 seconds to memorize. But what did it cost the ancient people who invented it? We like to think kanji are just cute little pictures of trees and rivers. A mountain looks like a mountain. But the middle? You can't just draw the concept of middle. You need a physical anchor. And historically speaking, anchors are heavy, sharp, and usually dropped on someone else. Look at it again. That square. That line. Your textbook probably told you it's an arrow hitting the center of a target. Bullseye. How poetic. How sporty. It's a comforting lie we tell beginners, so they don't drop out before learning the T-form. Erase that innocent geometry from your mind. The ancient Shang dynasty wasn't playing darts. They were playing a much darker game of absolute survival. First, let's look at the square part. If you've studied basic radicals, you might think, oh, it's the mouth radical. Coochie. Wrong. This is not a mouth, though it might have swallowed a few souls. This shape, in its ancient oracle bone script form, isn't a flat, empty box. It represents something much more three-dimensional, heavy, and deeply significant to the rulers of the ancient world. Forget the simple box theory. Think bigger. Think monumental. This square actually represents a massive, ceremonial vessel. A drum, perhaps, or a sacred container used in the most important rituals of statecraft. You don't just leave a sacred vessel lying around. You plant it firmly in the ground to claim your territory. It's basically the ancient equivalent of planting a flag on the moon, but with way more casualties. Now what about that vertical line? It pierces right through the vessel. A flagpole? A walking stick for a very tired ancient emperor? Let me stop you right there. This is not a stick. Unless your definition of a stick includes a massive, terrifying weapon of war designed to be slammed into the earth. We are talking about a halberd, a heavy spear, a symbol of absolute, terrifying military might. Forget the walking stick. This is the weapon of a conqueror. Imagine the sheer force required to plunge a giant spear through a heavy bronze drum and deep into the soil. It's a statement. It says, I am here, this is mine, and I have the heavy machinery to prove it. This line is the axis mundi, the center of the world, established not by negotiation, but by brute force. This is where ritual collides with brutal warfare. The ancient character Naka is a snapshot of this exact, terrifying moment. A conquered land, a victorious army, and the ultimate flex, setting up your sacred battle standard right in the middle of their territory. It's the ancient world's version of a mic drop, except the mic weighs a ton and is sharp enough to impale a rhino. Anchoring the conquered ancient earth. The spear goes in. The vessel sits at the center. The message is clear. This land is now the center of my domain. Every time you write Naka to say you are inside a coffee shop, you are tracing the silhouette of an ancient, bloody claim to territory. Makes ordering a matcha latte feel a bit more epic, doesn't it? The sacred vessel becomes the center of victory. It's the focal point, where the heavens connect with the newly conquered earth. It's where you announce to your ancestors, hey, look what I just took. It's not just a location. It's a declaration of supreme authority. The middle isn't neutral ground. In the ancient world, the middle is wherever the guy with the biggest spear says it is. But wait, it gets darker. Because some scholars look at those ancient oracle bone inscriptions and see something else in that box. Not just a drum, not just a vessel. What if that square represents something softer? Something that used to belong to the leader of the defeated army? Yes, we are talking about the ultimate trophy of conquest. A human head. A spear piercing the conquered enemy's skull. Suddenly, that cute little target and arrow story from your JLPT textbook seems hilariously naive, doesn't it? The center is established by physically pinning the defeated king's head to the ground. It is the absolute, literal center of your new power. The graphic violence is baked right into the geometry. Sweet dreams tonight. Now let's look at its cousin, Uchi. Inside, it shares that same sense of enclosed territory. The border is drawn. You are either inside the sphere of protection and control, or you are outside, waiting to be conquered. The center equals absolute power. It's a binary system. Inside is safe, outside is terrifying. And Naka is the violent mechanism that defines that boundary. Middle equals absolute power. It's not about being average or in between. The Middle Kingdom, Zhongguo, Chugoku, doesn't mean the country located somewhere between two other places. It means the central authority, the axis around which the entire barbarian world revolves. It's an incredibly arrogant, incredibly powerful linguistic concept. And it all starts with a spear in the dirt. So the next time you look at this character, don't just see a simple box. Don't see an innocent little target. See the weight of history. See the blood, the bronze, the conquest. It's a masterpiece of ancient graphic design, compressing the sheer brutality of empire building into 4 simple strokes. 4 strokes you probably learned in your very first week of Japanese class. Whose corpse are you standing on when you say you are in the middle of doing your homework? The language we use casually every day is built on the ruins of forgotten empires and brutal rituals. It's fascinating, terrifying, and honestly a much better mnemonic device than anything your teacher ever gave you. You will never forget how to write Naka again. Look at the word for China. Shugoku, the Middle Kingdom. It literally translates to the supreme, unrivaled, earthly authority, the center of the universe. When you understand the violent, dominant origin of the character Naka, the name of the country takes on a much heavier, more imposing resonance. It's not just geography, it's destiny written in ancient ink. This character dominates your time. Junior high school? Shugaku. The middle of the night? Yonaka. It is everywhere. It has colonized the Japanese dictionary, just as surely as that ancient spear colonized the soil. It sits there, hidden in plain sight, a tiny monument to ancient warfare, patiently waiting in your daily conversation. Center. Dominance. Survival. That is the true trinity of the character Naka. It is a brutal reminder that civilization is often built on a foundation of conquest. So embrace the darkness. Let the gruesome history fuel your kanji studies. Forget the cute mnemonics. Remember the spear. Remember the skull. You are studying the language of survivors. If this deep dive into the dark side of kanji didn't make you immediately drop your textbook in horror, congratulations. You have the stomach for true linguistics. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and join me next time as we dissect another seemingly innocent character and ruin your childhood memories of learning Japanese. Until then, stay curious, and maybe don't stand exactly in the middle of anything.